It's alright.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Yo guys, what is up? Mox here in our Borderlands 3 video, and today we have a little something different for you guys. Today we're going to be running through the Cartel event on my Firehose Moze build while having a discussion about seasonal events in Borderlands 3, and particularly the Cartel event and why it needs to stay in Borderlands 3. Now this is in response to a note that the community manager put out that basically said that the Cartel event is confirmed leaving, and that all of the new Annointments that were introduced are going to be leaving with it, and that kind of breaks my heart. So I wanted to make this video and just talk about it with you guys, tell you guys my opinions, and why I think that's a bad decision. Now, before we get into the video, I want to say that I know that the Gearbox staff are working their absolute butt off. They care and are passionate about this game, and by no means am I trying to show any hate or negativity. I just want to talk about why I love this event and why, in my opinion, it shouldn't go away. Now, the Cartel event is part of Gearbox's seasonal content where they have events come, they show up, and the community comes back to play the game for the limited time event stuff to get, and the skins and stuff, and there is an incentive because it's going away to come back to the game, and I understand that. I understand that model, but in the current moment of the game, especially with the introduction of Mayhem 10, there is... Whenever you introduce higher difficulty, right? Whenever you increase the difficulty of something, you're going to have a slimming of the amount of viable options. And we're really seeing that right now. At the moment, Mayhem 2.0 is not in the greatest state. Now they have addressed that. They're going to be changing it. But at the current moment, there's about 6 weapons that you could really use. And part of having those 6 weapons is, one, they're extremely hard to get, those 6 weapons, because dedicated drop rates, at the moment, they're changing it, but they're bad. Dedicated drops are horrible, and not good. And not only do you need to get dedicated drops, but you need to get the right anointment. Now, anointments are new to Borderlands 3, and they are the endgame. Anointments are the endgame. There is such a big difference between having a Chaosin with, like, consecutive hits, or 100 ASC versus having a non-anointed one, or with sliding accuracy. It makes a big difference, and it can make or break your build and your playstyle. Now, anointments are a big part of builds, and as someone who loves making builds and loves trying to be as creative as I can in this game, anointments are the endgame. They are what can make or break builds. They can make or break a weapon. You have currently unviable weapons, such as, for example, the one-pump chump. That kind of sucks right now. But if you can get a 390 anoint, it transforms the gun into a one-shotting machine. And it truly makes that gun a lot more unique and adds a lot to it. Currently, the 150 rad anoint, while under 50% health, is a game changer for deathless builds, and as someone who never really made or played deathless builds, I've been loving deathless builds. There's something so nice about always having that damage and not having to rely on your action skills in a game that's been so dominated for so long by 100 ASC, 250 phase cast, 300 phase slam, Sentinel Cryo on Zane. Sentinel Cryo is the only thing that you could use on Zane as an anointment for, like, most builds. And we finally have some diversity. 150 rad is a huge incentive to play deathless builds. It can change up your playstyle. It can change up your gameplay and the way you go about it. I made a deathless flak build, which I never thought I would do. I thought that was an enormous joke, but I was running through True Takedown with it, and it's awesome. I've been playing with deathless Amara. Why would you do that? But you get 150 bonus rad damage. There's a lot of payoff. There's a lot of new interesting things you can do with the shield anointments. The stopgap. We got a brand new kind of mechanic in the stopgap anoint. The shield deplete 100 amp on the snowdrift. There's so many cool new interactions that were introduced with these anoints that have led to so many new and unique builds. And when you have an increased difficulty, like I said before, you're going to have a decrease in the amount of viable stuff, but that's almost not what we're seeing in terms of builds. Yes, when the weapons get more balanced, we're going to be able to use a lot more different weapons, but in terms of actual build diversity, we're getting a lot of things that are viable on Mayhem 10 because there's a lot more different things. The 390 anoint is insane. It is such a strong anointment and can change your whole strategy. It can change what kind of weapons you're looking for, change what bosses you're fighting, and all in all, I really do like these anoints. The fish slap, the OPQ, not to mention all of the awesome weapons, the no pew pew, the shields. The Cartel event has added a lot of life to this game. It is great content. I would say the best free content we've gotten since the Maliwan takedown, and I hate to see it leave. Now, this is a Borderlands game. Borderlands fans love Borderlands because of the loot, the build diversity, and the endgame farming. Taking out these new anointments is not only decreasing the endgame, and it's also decreasing build diversity. Now, while I understand the player or the decision making of having this like games as a service thing with seasonal events, and I'm sure Gearbox knows that taking these things away isn't great, but maybe they've got a plan for the Guardian takedown, which I'm sure they do, and they'll be adding a bunch of stuff to get excited about that. But I just don't think that we should be sacrificing the Cartel event for that. Now, in my opinion, the Cartel event should stay and be maybe something that season pass holders get to play, or maybe this is great content. I would be fine with throwing down some extra dollars to have this stay. Have the Cartel event turn off, where you don't see Cartel enemies pop up in other areas, because you shouldn't. After this event ends, you shouldn't see them anywhere else, but you should be able to come here and farm and get these weapons and enjoy this freaking beautiful area that Gearbox made for us to play in, with dedicated bosses that actually drop their dedicated loot, with unique enemies, with difficult challenge. This Cartel event's like mid-tier mobbing. It's between the takedown and like Athena's, where it's not as hard as doing a takedown, but it's not as easy as like running through Athena's, and it's a great change of pace to have something like this, a place to go to do that farming and do that grinding that's outside of the main game. There's not a plethora of endgame content right now to do, and while we are getting the Guardian takedown very soon, I just would hate to see all the new anointments leave and all of the new all these new enemies leave. It is very sad to see. Now, implementing a way for this to stay is I mean, I don't have the perfect answer. I would be fine with it going to season pass holders. I'd be fine with it being free for everyone. I would be fine throwing down $5 like a headhunter pack for it to stay. It is great content, and I'd be happy to support the people who made it by paying extra for it to stay. But I really don't think that's a great idea to take away all of this awesomeness. Now, obviously it will return, but who knows when? Probably not for a while. Now, there is going to be a small gap of time, or a small period of time, where you can get Guardian takedown anointed gear with Cartel events, but then you're gonna have this weird community part where, like, if I'm using a shield or a gun with the 390 anoint, it basically just becomes unusable, because the rest of the community, realistically, if they didn't get it, it sucks for them. They can never get it, and it shouldn't be a thing in Borderlands. I believe that if you, in this game, if you've got the time, you can go out and farm it and go get it, and that's part of what makes Borderlands great. And having things that are exclusives, you not getting your perfect wedding invitation on your first roll and getting stuck with the crap one, it's just not as fun for me, and I don't think it's as fun for you guys. So I mainly just wanted to talk about this event. Now, maybe we'll see new anointments with the Guardian takedown. Maybe all of our questions will be answered. I don't expect Gearbox to change the decision making of this Cartel event leaving by making a video. That's not what this is for, but it is to open up a discussion to maybe have future events stay, because I hate to see the Cartel event go. I really, really do. Now, another reason why I don't think that the Annointments should leave, worst comes to worst, or not worst comes to worst, but the Cartel event leaving, I would, realistically, fine, okay? But the Anoints leaving is just hurting the endgame. It's hurting build diversity, and it doesn't make sense. These new Anoints aren't super tied to the event. The only Anoint that I can really think of that's super tied to the event is the Cyber Spike. If the Cyber Spike's gone, that's fine, but the first Anointment to really be a unique boss killer, the 390 Anoint, shouldn't go. The 150 red that gives a whole new life to Deathless builds, shouldn't go. The new shield starts, the ASA 200 weapon damage, all of them are really cool, and they add a lot to the Anointment system, because if the Anointments are the endgame and you need specific Anointments, it sucks when every single build on Amara you have to be using 100 ASC. On every single Zane build you have to be using Sentinel Cryo. And these Anointments finally gave us some wider breadth to the Anointment system, and the more diversity that we can have in builds, the more creative you can get with your endgame, and just the more things there are to do in this game, guys. That's pretty much it for my opinions. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope my points came across clearly. I'm really curious to what you guys think, to what your opinions are. Please, if you guys are interested in seeing the Cartel event staying around, maybe share this video with a friend, leave a like. Guys, I really do appreciate it. I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.